Hi, Michael O'Leary again from Buy the Book Taxes with another video in my series on IRS collections. I'm going to do a short video today that speaks to interest and penalties on tax balances due. I often get asked by my clients, they'll say, look, I know I owe the tax, but can you do anything about the interest and the penalties? Generally speaking, there's two answers. The answer on the interest is no. The answer on the penalties is maybe. The reason why the answer on the interest is no, I'm going to use a fancy legal term here. Interest is statutory. In other words, it's by law. Congress wrote into the tax laws the ability for the IRS to charge interest on late payments of balances due, unpaid taxes. So unless Congress changes the law, the interest is going to stay. As far as penalties are concerned, there are opportunities to get penalties removed. They call it penalty abatement. There's two types of penalty abatement. One is called reasonable cause, and the other one is called first time abatement. I'll explain each of them. Reasonable cause, here's an example. Let's hope this never happens, but what if you get in a horrific car accident in early March of one year and you're in, the hospital, you're in intensive care for 6 months with a traumatic brain injury and other bodily injuries. Because of that, you are unable to file your tax return and pay the taxes that are due. So eventually, let's say October, November of that year, you get out of the hospital, you file your tax returns, you pay the balance due, but then the IRS adds on a bunch of interest and penalties. You can request penalty abatement under reasonable cause using your medical situation as the rationale. And as long as you can document it, probably a pretty good chance that the IRS would abate the penalties and any interest associated with the penalties. First time abatement's a little different. There's a rule that says if you look at a tax year that you have penalties for, if the 3 prior years to that penalty year are clean, in other words, no penalties, you can request that the penalties get abated for that penalty year. And then where you get a break with the interest is that the interest associated with the penalties can also be abated. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through a couple of examples of this. Okay, first time abatement of penalties. Here's a screenshot of some software that I use. It's a transcript downloading software called Tax Help Software. So look over here. See this column that says FTA, first time abatement. The types of penalties you can get abated are failure to file. In other words, you get penalized for filing your return late. Failure to pay, you get penalized for paying your tax balances late. There's another penalty which you don't see on here. It's called failure to deposit. If you have a business with employees and you are required to withhold payroll taxes, withholding taxes from your employees' salaries and remit them to the IRS, and you are late in doing so, you get penalties for that. but you could also request a first-time abatement for failure to deposit. So here's the report. So come down here, tax year 2012. The software says you qualify for first-time abatement on 2012. And the reason you do is look at tax years 11, 10, and 9. There's no penalties there. Those are clean years. So you can request penalty abatement for 2012 and you'll be successful. Okay? I'm going to show you another example that doesn't work. Same report, tax help software. Here's a client who has a failure to pay penalty every year. So this client makes a lot of money, has a lot of tax liabilities, but never pays on a timely basis. Files the tax returns and then pays the balances due whenever. So you come over here to the first time abatement column, N for no for everything. And the reason being, do you ever see, forget about one clean year, he's got one clean year in the last 17. You never see that gap of 3 clean years that would enable one of these years to have the penalties abated. I refer to first-time penalty abatement as the bump in the road relief. Many times people will have a bump in the road in their life. They get divorced. They get laid off from their job. They have a significant medical event in their life, themselves, their children, and it causes them to kind of, hit a rough patch. And then once they recover, they get back on the beam and they get back to filing and paying their taxes on a timely basis. When you see somebody like that, they are good candidates for first-time penalty abatement. Okay, so if any of this sounds like you, please give me a call. I can help. Here's my business card. Michael O'Leary, Norwalk, Connecticut. There's my cell phone number, my fax, email, website address. I'm going to come down here a little. These are the services I provide. Tax preparation, 1040, 1041, and all the resolution options. Installment payment agreements, offer and compromise. Maybe you qualify to pay less than the full amount you owe. Currently not collectible. If there's some hardship, innocent spouse. If there's tax debts left over from a prior marriage, divorce, penalty abatement, as we're speaking about, relief from tax liens and levies, and also payroll tax delinquencies. If you have a business and you are behind on remitting your payroll taxes that you've withheld from your employees, I offer CPA quality without CPA prices. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are getting scary collection letters from the IRS, please give me a call. I can help. See you on the next video.